Welcome to My Shift Setup, the series where we sit down with real Shift users and unpack how they've customized their browser to match the way they actually work. I'm Michael Fouché, VP of Product here at Shift. If you haven't heard of Shift, it's a fully customizable browser that lets you drag and drop your layout, create dedicated spaces, and bring all your apps and accounts into one window. Today, I'm joined by Conrad, our Senior Director of Technology at Shift.
Hi, Michael. Great to be here.
Conrad, you lead the engineering team building the product, which means you help shape how Shift works under the hood. And now, when we're all very lucky, we get to see how you use it in the wild. Can we dive into your setup? Can you show us your screen?
Absolutely. Would love to. Yeah, here's my Shift setup. At first glance, I think it looks pretty standard. If you've used Shift in the past, you kind of got your apps and your spaces on the left. And I was a big Shift user for a long time now. And so I think one of the biggest things I just noticed was from the original Shift layout, the original Shifty, where the apps were down at the bottom, just by natural flow from using a browser, all the interactions you need with a web page are kind of top right. Forward, back, reload, how many box. And so I just found myself going to this top corner all the time. So I really have moved all my things to the top corner. That's just where my muscle memory wanted to go. And as Mike has shown in many of these videos before, the modularity of Shift allows me to kind of place things where I want. And so I put them in the top left. That's been working really well for me.
So what would you say is the feature that sort of saves you the most time?
Yeah. One of my favorite new features is the custom app. And I've done this in my personal setup for quite a few personal projects that I run out of my house. I have a little home lab, a couple servers running, run different software. One of them is Home Assistant for my home automation. I've got Mealy for kind of recipes, which is a pretty cool self-hosted recipe app. This one is for importing recipes. So the ability to add custom apps has been super handy lately as I've been spinning up more and more kind of self-hosted projects.
I know that we have a directory, we have over 1,500 apps, but we are now planning to add a lot more. But one of the key requests that we had for many years was, if I don't find my app in the directory, what do I do?
Yeah. New feature we've just rolled out. We're really excited about. We're still expanding its usage, but now you can add any app, which we just realized, we can't curate the entire internet. We're going to do our best to have every app you could possibly want, but great examples are any kind of self-hosted service or really niche, websites we may not have. And now you can just add them and they'll feel just as native as all the other apps that you can add within Shift. So there are a few ways to do it. If you can't find your app, show up. You can add it there. There's always an option to add it in the top right. When you go to add a new app, you give it a nice name, you give it a URL. So really handy, really great way to add ones we don't yet have, and hopefully we can get them for you in the future.
If you want your app, your custom app, to be added as an official app, you can click that button at the bottom and it gets put into a list that we then go and add it to our official directory of apps, which is awesome.
Yeah, someone on the team will get notified, we'll review it, and we'll try and get it in as soon as possible.
So, I know, because we work together, that, this is something you're in all day, every day. What do you think is the feature that you rely on the most, as you coming back to your desk, looking at this?
Yeah, I've chosen different anchor apps for my different spaces, kind of based on what I use the most. You can pin or make any app in Shift your anchor app, which is the app that's tied directly to the space icon. So for my work, I have Slack anchor app. That's the app I'm in the most. That's where we do most of our communication. So when I double click to go back to your anchor app, it'll open up Slack. For my personal, that is email.
It's a great example. It's getting involved in building Shift. How has it changed about how you think about browsers in general?
Yeah, we've been building browsers I've been involved with building browsers for a little over 10 years now. The biggest change with Shift and what makes Shift really exciting from a development standpoint is the way we've layered the interface with Chrome. So most Chrome-based browsers, which are the vast majority out there, have difficulty adapting their interface because they are programmed in such a way they're very native to the operating system, which has its benefits, but also means it's more difficult to create unique and customizable experiences in the UI layer. They're very regimented in how they're designed and kind of constructed. We've taken a different approach in how we kind of layer the interface on top of Chrome, which allows us to iterate much quicker and have more developers contribute more ideas faster, which results in a really fun and fast-paced way to develop. and great ideas get to market faster. So the modularity, I think, is the prime example of that. It's something that really is only possible in Shift in the way that we've created the interface, and we're quite proud of this because it's really easy concept, be able to drag and drop things around. And as you dive into it, the complexity grows pretty rapidly. You can have many scenarios that you never thought about, which is both unique and fun, but also a development challenge.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely something that's unique to Shift. And we are, as I like to say, the most customizable browser anywhere. If there is another one out there, please let me know, but I haven't found it. What would be the one piece of advice you'd give to someone new coming into Shift?
Yeah, the standout one for sure is the modularity. I would say start with a familiar kind of template to you, and then play around with it for a couple of days and just kind of really try and think of what do you find frustrating in your usage of it. Mark those down and then play around with the layout template, and you can really pretty quickly eliminate just kind of day-to-day annoyances that you might have. You're like, I wish this was here. I wish I could do this in a certain way. Which is one of the few browsers that will allow you to actually tackle that. And trying all the different templates is pretty interesting as well. Some of them are inspired by other browsers and how they have set up their interface. And so you get a feel for many different browsers, but staying all within Shift. You don't have to download and install a million different browsers to get a feel for how other people have thought of different ways to browse the internet.
Awesome tip. I don't want to take up too much time because that means it takes time away from new features being added to Shifts. I really want to thank you for taking this time and showing us your setup. It's fantastic.